And you went from chasing the leads in the streets of Copenhagen to attracting them.
Not to mention the 1.4 million kroner in revenue, which is what, over $200,000. You actually helped me to make the right videos, even though it's not your area of expertise.
Yeah.
We made the video about the bank actually almost stealing money from the clients.
Yeah.
I think it got like 100,000 views like the first week all over our platforms. And I've been pretty surprised that you actually went in and knew what I kind of had to say, even though it was not the field that you were working in. The numbers will never lie, right? We think we went from what, 500 Instagram followers to 7,000 in a little over a year.
Yeah.
And we have like maybe 500,000 views on TikTok in total.
We just helped you become more of what you already are.
Yeah, that's also why I think we have a success rate of 100%, because people feel seen, heard, and respected.
We had an ad spend of $900. We made more than $40,000 back.
Yeah, which resulted in like 40 new followers every day. And they say, this is insane, how is this possible?
Crazy ROAS.
Of course, this is probably due to your knowledge, your expertise, and everything that you showed me.
What's your best advice for people who either want to start an online business or want to scale it to the point where you are right now?
It's two things.
Welcome to this unscripted client interview podcast with you, Alex. First of all, welcome here in Dubai.
Thank you.
It's been a long ride, and I think for the people that don't know you, can you please tell the people who you are, what you're doing, and also the business that you're running?
Yeah, sure. Thanks again for the invitation. Really nice to be here in Dubai physically with you. You know, sometimes I'm just thinking we've worked together so much online.
Yeah.
So to actually be here physically in a room is pretty cool. But yeah, my name is Alex. I am 31 years old and I run the business Alex Finance. And basically what we do is we help clients to achieve financial freedom through investment and optimizing of financial strategies personally, and also corporate strategies. So that's basically the very concept of what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's also very interesting for the people to hear, because what you're doing is not random. You have been doing a lot of stuff in the past. So Alex, can you please take us back? Like, what inspired you to become a coach who help people get financial freedom?
Right, very good question. It has been a wild journey, and if you've asked me like a few years ago, I would have no idea that I would have been here today.
Yeah.
I do have a master degree in classical piano, and I also used to work as a concert pianist for 8 years. And eventually Corona came and changed my life completely. So I somehow ended up in banking, because I've always had a really strong interest for freedom and money and investment. And after 3.5 years there, I realized that there were a lot of problems in modern banking today. So I did have a leadership role in one of the largest banks in Denmark. And one of the hugest factors for me in terms of the challenges that the bank system is facing is the service of the clients. It's not always honest, it's not always optimal, and it's rarely orchestrated to help the clients rather than earning more money for the bank. And in the beginning, I thought, well, that's life. What can I, a little normal guy, do about this? But then I thought, well, I should probably do something, and I can actually do something if I go for it. And I really want to help people to be rich and to live in freedom. So yeah, 2 years ago, almost, I started Alex Finance with the vision of really truly helping people and making sure that everybody had what it takes to achieve financial freedom and live a life in complete freedom, free of money stress.
Yeah, because what is the vision of what you're doing?
Well, the vision basically is that financial freedom is for everyone. So I want to empower all human beings who wants to do it and who are open to learn new things to be able to create complete financial freedom in their lives.
Yeah.
That's the vision.
Yeah. And how do you think it's different from what the banks are doing and what they're saying? Because what you're doing right now is a little bit different than what the banks are telling. So what really separates you from all the banks out there?
Well, it's many things, but the most important things, I think, are two things. And the first thing is that I always tackle every challenge, every client with a very human approach, which means I want to look at the whole human being, the situation privately, are the children, what's the person dreaming about, what's actually important for that human being. So rather than just making some financial strategies, I take the whole human being and have a look at, okay, who is that person and what is the personal needs of this human being.
Yeah.
And I think this is very different from banking, because normally they just have a script and a standard procedure, and then they go with this. So yeah, that's also why I think we have a success rate of 100%, because people feel seen, heard, and respected in a very high degree compared to banking.
Yeah.
And just to finish on the second thing is, it's that cryptocurrency is a strong asset in terms of my teaching and my preaching in terms of investment and generating passive income. And a lot of banks are against it, sadly, because of a lot of things. But these are the two main points and how I work differently than the banks.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting because you're doing a very different approach than other investments, bankings. What you're doing is not for the money, it's for the people. And it's very interesting that you've been in the exact same spot as the people you're helping. Financial stress, and yeah, how was your situation? Like also 12 months ago, before we started working together, we've been working together for over a year now, like almost 1.5 years. So it's been quite the journey, but can you please take us back? Like, how was your situation like 12, 13, 15 months ago?
Well, very different than now. I mean, 5 years ago, I didn't have more than $1,000 to my name. So it has been quite a journey. Of course, I did manage to build a bit of wealth in banking, but I was still not at the point where I wanted to be. And of course, starting a business was really challenging. So I was really in trouble getting clients. And I did manage to sell 12 courses to my closest friend circle and network in the beginning. But then I was like, now what?
Yeah.
What do I do then? Because I have a great product, but the people don't know my product, and how they're gonna buy if they have no idea that I exist, right?
Yeah.
So my method was in the very beginning to go in Copenhagen, where I was born and raised, and actually talk to people on the street.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, of course, I was using social media a little bit as well, but I was not good at it. So I had no idea of how to create like a freedom and how to manage to actually get qualified leads and clients. So I did approach a little over 100 people, and it did result in 10 meetings. So that was, I guess, okay. But none of those meetings led to a sale, which is, of course, my own fault. And I think maybe some people also thought it was a bit weird to be approached by a stranger who wanted to help with their finances on the street, right? So it has been a bit of a journey.
Yeah. So you basically chase leads in the streets of Copenhagen.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do something, right? I mean, they're not coming by themselves. I can't just lie on the couch and wait for them to knock on my door. You have to go out there and put yourself out there and take risks and go for it, right? Because that's the only way you're going to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what is, like, taking me back, we've been on this journey for a long time. So I see your situation now, but like 12, 15 months ago, but what was the biggest challenge back then?
Well, the biggest challenge was to get sales meetings and to ensure that I could get qualified clients on board, because I had a good product, but I didn't know how to sell it and how to market it.
Yeah.
And that's where you came in. Since we worked together, November 2023, we started, and it's 1.5 years ago now. And wow, I mean, I just think that in the beginning, everything was so new for me.
Yeah.
But I think when I look back at it, I mean, there are two things that's quite beautiful from our cooperation and our time working together. And one of them is that you've basically been, with my business from day one. So our relation is so strong now.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that I always felt like that I was in good hands, that the things that I have not been good at, social media, doing reels, doing content, also this technique, I'm even not even sure that the mic is working probably. This is not my strong side. So that you come in and kind of handle all of that, so I could just relax and do what I'm good at from day one. That was epic. That was quite amazing.
Yeah. And that's also my philosophy, taking care of all the stuff that you don't want to spend time on, so you can enjoy life, take care of the people that you have inside. I wouldn't say a program, but I would say they're under your wings because you personally help them. Because Alex, what is the philosophy specifically in Alex Finance?
Well, the philosophy that I used to mean to help the clients, like what my basic idea is and what my approach is to my clients and my work. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's that freedom is for everyone, and that it's the human being comes over money. So one of the things that's really important for me is to treat my clients' money as if it was my own. So
Yeah.
my own investment strategy in crypto is the exact same as I use for my clients.
Yeah.
And it's so important for me to treat other people how I wanted to be treated myself, and this has been very effective. So apart from what I said earlier about my whole approach and my whole way of working, then that's the philosophy: treating people like I want to be treated myself, and treating the client's money as if it was my own.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's also comes as a result of having someone to take care of all the stuff you don't want to spend time on. So you have more time to be there for your clients, because that was the most important thing, and it still is for you in
For
your
sure.
business. It is the clients. You're here to serve people.
Yeah, and I mean, when you work as a coach, it's so much energy you pour into the personal relations. So
Yeah.
that I had from you, like everything that's set up, like taking care of the content strategies, even our different employees we had for booking our meetings and taking over Instagram and doing all the stuff that I thought I had to do. Then there was immense freedom, and
Yeah.
suddenly I had energy, I had time, and I had like opportunities to really treat the clients exceptionally well, because I was not overstressed with 1,000 tasks at the time. I could even have a slow morning and recharge a little the days where I needed that. So that has been wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to hear that, especially because when you were starting off like 12 months ago, before we worked together, you didn't have a system to get clients and to scale your business.
Oh, you mean my street system wasn't good enough?
Well, it can work for some people. Is it going to give you freedom? I don't
Probably
know.
not.
I don't know. Probably not. So like having a system is so important, and I think that's also what we helped you implement. And also, we didn't really just make you become something completely different. We just helped you become more of what you already are, to help you amplify your personality, to help clients exceed and succeed and live their dream life.
Yeah. But the thing you said about the systems, I think that's interesting to just dig a little bit into, because to have a system that's automatic and that's like totally fixed, it's again such a huge degree of freedom that this gives,
Yeah.
because then like it just decreases the stress amount for a business owner so much, because like there's so many things. So if I have like 80% of everything that I actually can outsource to you, where you just take care of it and build an automatic system for this, and you're even responsible for hiring the employees that we need in our
Yeah.
business, so that you do the managing and the hiring processes, and I just have to go in half an hour and see if it's a good fit, and if I can say go for it as well, to that person, that is awesome. And to have this and at a very, very, very effective price as well, compared to the value that I get, that has of course also been the foundation that I'm sure that we're going to work many, many years together in the future.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's funny because we implement the systems to help you get clients, taking care of all the marketing, Instagram, social media, because it's not about being the best in the market. You were extremely good at what you're doing, but you didn't really have that many people knowing exactly that you're the perfect one to help them.
Yeah.
So I think also that the approach was to become the best
Yeah.
known for something like unique.
Yeah, sure. And that is also just, where like the numbers will never lie, right? We think we went from what, 500 Instagram followers to 7,000 in a little over a year.
Yeah.
And we have like, I think what, maybe 500,000 views on TikTok in total.
Yeah.
And of course now the YouTube channel is growing as well. Not to mention the 1.4 million kroner in revenue, which is what, over $200,000. So
Yeah.
yeah, numbers don't lie. I think that's also what it comes down to, and of course you're vulnerable in the first 1 or 2 or 3 years and starting a business. So every dollar counts, right? And that's also why it's so important that, we made a good deal from the beginning that really worked for me, and also kept me safe in terms of the income that can go a lot up and down. That can be a lot of fluctuations. So yeah, all
Yeah.
these things has been wonderful as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also important to say that we didn't have a very high ad spend. I remember
Right.
we had an ad spend of $900.
Yeah, yeah.
We made more than $40,000 back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Crazy
Yeah.
amount, crazy ROAS.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And we can also talk about like stocks, real estate, copy trading, all that. But I think, yeah, like, so what is the best investment for a coach and someone who wants to scale their business?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. Of course, the best investment is to reinvest in the business, in something that really works, and something that's really cost effective, and something that's providing outstanding results. I spoke to a lot of other coaches who have also much bigger businesses than I do, and then they say, how is it possible to spend, like, we spend, as you say in the beginning, even the first 6 months, like $800-900 per month, which resulted in like 40 new followers every day. And they say, this is insane, how is this possible? And of course, this is probably due to your knowledge, your expertise, and everything that you showed me. And of course, my beautiful hairline and a good smile.
Absolutely. Very, very underrated.
Good mix.
And speaking of underrated, like, what's been the most underrated thing about this journey we've been on?
Ooh, there have been a lot of things. But
Besides from your hairline, of course.
yeah, well, that's on my part, I guess. Yeah. But the most underrated thing that this teamwork and our cooperation has built for me has been the feeling that I have that everything is good, and the feeling of safety, and the feeling of having someone who's always behind me, and who takes care of all the stuff that needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
So you could call it an insurance, you can call it a safety net, you can call it one of those beautiful circles that you throw out if somebody can't swim,
Yeah.
But yeah, to have the safety and the feeling that everything is good, and that you have an expert to really help with the most vital aspects of a startup business, that has been the best.
Awesome. That's really good to hear. And how did that help you live a better life?
Well, I think the most important thing is the freedom, time-wise and energy-wise. I have a daughter, Feline. She is 3 years as well. And I hear so many parents who contact me for help, who says, we don't have time with our children. We don't have the freedom. And I can decide now exactly how much time I want to spend with her, how I want to do it, where I want to be. And I can, allocate the time in my calendar as I please. So if I wanted to have 3 months with her not working, I could do that. If I wanted to, just let her have a good time with her mother and work for months, I could do that as well. So this is insane freedom. So to be a better father and to have the energy and the time for Feline, that has been outstanding as well.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I also remember about you, because it's not just about growing and transforming your business, it's also about becoming the person who are capable of achieving the goal.
Right.
You also teach that with your clients. So I think, like, how did that affect you personally?
Oh, a lot. I mean, of course, it helps a lot with confidence when the Instagram is growing, and when you get more like views and a lot of more people know you. It really builds somehow the character, and also the self-belief that I create something valuable. People respect me, people look up to me, and I'm actually great at what I do. So for me, I've grown a lot personally, and especially, my confidence was probably below average before. Now I would say it's high, and I know that I'm great, and this is super important to, of course, stay humble, but to always be high in confidence, and to know that you're a good person.
Yeah.
And that what you have actually is very valuable.
Absolutely. And I think the coolest thing about your business and also your personal development is that you don't need to impress anyone. Like, what is your like relationship with cars statues,
Yeah,
fancy watches.
well, funny you mentioned it. I just made a story 2 days ago that really got a lot of likes where I just mentioned that I don't understand people who care about expensive cars because
Yeah.
where is the freedom if you build your happiness on things, right? But in general, I just want to own as little as possible and have as much freedom as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm very different than a lot of other finance coaches because it's really not about, expensive clothes and
It's not.
yeah, high-end cars and watches and stuff. It's really just about being the person you want to be with the people you like and doing the stuff that makes you happy.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's also how you differentiate yourself. We've built something unique. People come to me and ask you, like, what is Alex doing? It seems like he's doing so well. And you are. But I also think now you're into crypto and have seen massive success with it yourself, but you're not trading. It's very like long-term oriented.
Sure.
It's not about quick fixes and getting rich tomorrow, making $1 million within 9 minutes.
Yeah.
It's what you can do in 10 years from now, because you've been telling me this for like well over a year now, that everything compounds when it comes to crypto, and you're the crypto expert. And I think if there's something that I have learned from you is you grow, like your wealth is growing. You make money, you can invest it into crypto, and you can literally double your amount of money and your wealth like every single year if you're good enough. That's what you've been doing. Not only that, you actually get paid like every single month, if not like every single day, from your crypto and what you hold.
Yeah.
And I think that's really amazing, and how you help people do that. So not only do they build wealth, but they're also making money while they sleep.
But it's a little bit of an unfair game, right? Because crypto is just the future, and it's so powerful, and technology is just rising every day. So there's this super large group of people who are like, no, we're not going to touch this. It's weird. It's different. It's new. We're not going to grab it. And then we have like a little bit, like right now, it's 4% of the world population who has crypto. And they're like, yeah, we go for it. And then they get super rich. And it's just like, wow, why is there such imbalance? And I have loved that you have helped me with the right scripts for this, and actually to tackle it and to word it, and to really be open about like why it is like this, and how the governments and the banks are trying to control the financial aspects of the world, and what you need to do to set yourself free, not only financially but also from your own limitations about money belief wise.
Absolutely. And it's not to say that it's only crypto that works. You can also get rich and wealthy with stocks, real estate. Time is really compounding everything. But I think it's difficult to find something that like gives this high return on investment, besides from growing your business. That's been over 1,000%. So I think blockchain and the crypto and the future is very interesting, because it's not just about investments. It's going, if I understand it correctly, it's how we're going to actually live a life. It's how we're going to pay for the groceries, cars, everything we want, the houses, insurance. It's going to be controlled and managed with crypto, right?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, we even have in Denmark the first 20 or 25 restaurants who officially accept cryptocurrency as payment.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is signs of the future. In Switzerland, Spar, like the supermarket chain, they now enable payment with Bitcoin in all of their shops.
Really?
Yeah. So it started like 3 weeks ago. So like,
damn,
it's coming, and it's coming fast. And the question is, do you want to ride the wave, or do you want to get left behind?
Yeah, because what happens if I just keep staying the same?
Well, there's just going to be this group of people who are going to join the crypto wave, who are going to get super wealthy. And, the prices in society are increasing a lot on groceries, but also in cars and houses and everything. So if you don't evolve financially, then you're going to struggle. This is just the reality of everything in life. You evolve and then you become great, or you do nothing and then you dissolve. And it can be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So that's important in all aspects of life, I believe.
Yeah, also because inflation just keeps being there. And if you get a 4 to 6% return from having your money in the bank, it's going to get eaten by the inflation. So what you're saying is that you kind of need a system, a strategy where you can get higher returns to like run away from the inflation.
Yeah, and what's so interesting about this in terms of what we do is that you actually help me to make the right videos, even though it's not your area of expertise.
Yeah.
We made, I think 2 weeks ago, the video about the bank actually almost stealing money from the clients.
Yeah.
And I think it got like 100,000 views all over, like the first week, all over our platforms. And I've been pretty surprised that you actually went in and knew what I kind of had to say, even though it was not the field that you were working in. So it also just proves again your expertise, and yeah, I've been very happy for everything so far. Yeah,
And that's really good. I think that's the beauty of working together for more than 15 months.
right.
I get to know a thing or two about what you're doing.
Yeah, sure.
So that's really good. And now we went from a small apartment, making the first agreement in Copenhagen, near Copenhagen. We're not in Copenhagen anymore. Where are we?
Where are we? We're in Dubai right now.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and it's one of my favorite cities.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now we're in Dubai, and we wanted to celebrate our journey together. That's why we're here, and just talk about life, the journey. I think it's been really fun for me to literally build the foundation, scale to where you are right now.
Did you book our jet ski yet?
I did not.
Oh,
I was focusing on some marketing strategies.
Okay, well, okay.
You know,
forgiven.
You
We'll
don't
do that
know
later.
everything. You don't know everything about what I'm doing. That's the beauty of backend, right? So yeah, that's really good. And now, how does your life look like?
Ooh, so big questions. I like it. Oh, my life is a lot of work because I choose it and because I love it, but it's insane freedom. So
What way though?
well, in the way that I can decide who I want to work with, I can decide what I want to help them with, like specifically, and I can choose if I want a lot of sales calls, a lot of meetings, want to really run like hot fire with the business, or if I want to take it a bit more chill and travel in Thailand and maybe just make some YouTube videos and help the existing client group to grow and scale, right? So a lot of freedom, time wise, people wise, and personally. So that's great.
Yeah, because you're traveling around the world now, and
That's right.
have kind of two bases. You have Thailand, Bangkok to be specific. You absolutely love that.
I do.
Yeah, and then you have Dubai. So how does your situation with the business right now? Can you tell me more about, and also for the people who possibly are watching this, like how is the business situation?
Yeah, I used to work in Denmark with my business, and then we actually had a talk, and you introduced me to our contact who actually helped me to set up my business here in Dubai instead, with much better conditions for running an online business. So you can say corporate, I belong here to Dubai, and my business is set up here with the Dubai conditions and everything, which is wonderful. And then I live in Thailand. My daughter, she lives in Germany, so I go there very often. And then I also have family in Denmark. So yeah, a lot of traveling, a lot of freedom, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what's been the best and funniest thing about this journey?
Well. What has been the best thing? I always like to meet you physically. I think that, we've done it a handful of times.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's the perfect combination for me of fun and business. And I think we have a natural flow where we figure things out very well in these moments.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So if I should choose one thing, it's actually this trip to Dubai.
Yeah. It's been really fun. And that's also my philosophy. It's not just about revenue. It's not just about getting new clients and building a selling machine that never sleeps. It's more about building something holistic, something that is valuable, sustainable, and like the best thing and the best business is where you have fun. And it feels like a hobby to me to grow your business and scale businesses. And it also seems like fun to you.
Of course, it is. And funnily enough, this trip where we also allocate a lot of time for fun, I think it's probably the best mutual investment we can do. And this is possibly what's going to scale us to the even next level, the further level, right?
Absolutely.
And going to grow us a lot. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And while we're here, just got a message from one of the team members that we booked a call. So,
Right. Cool.
So basically, we're scaling while we're having fun.
Yeah.
And that's my philosophy. It has to be fun to scale a business.
Right. And this is also literally the dream. Doesn't matter if you build a web shop or online coaching or something else, like to have an automatic system that really works where I passively can see, okay, like calls are coming in. Some mornings I've just opened my emails and then I checked out yesterday 4 new calls and then I've got a notification. I was like, oof, better do some sales training now. Yeah. I'm going to need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that when we implemented the system and you went from chasing the leads in the streets of Copenhagen, getting possibly 10 sales calls, not very qualified, and then 110 people who said no and just didn't want to spend time with that. So looking back, like having that system, now you went from chasing the leads to attracting them. And now you have to also look at, okay, how can we build a system where they get warmed up? They feel like, okay, I really need to talk to Alex. He seemed like a great guy. And this is also where it comes in with the personal branding. I remember the first videos you had where you were walking outside, there was snow. I think did you edit the videos back then? Yeah. Very impressive because you're not an editor, but
for sure not.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think just having
you had to mention that video. Oh,
yeah, very good value.
Yeah, sure.
But people buy what they perceive.
Yeah, for sure.
So we also worked a lot of the appearance.
Yeah.
Because if you want to like catch a lot of butterflies, you need to build that garden. You just can't run after them. They're gonna fly well.
Right.
But if you build that garden full of flowers, plants, they'll come automatically. It's the exact same thing with the business.
Yeah. And having that system behind my back also creates a feeling of abundance, right? Which means, the game of sales can go a lot up and down. There's a lot of fluctuations, which means I had a run of quite a high amount of calls where it did not close, also because I went through a lot of personal stuff in that period. But it still gave me a feeling of safety and abundance because I knew, okay, every day we're going to have 40 new followers and 10 of them are probably going to be relatively wealthy. And then 3 of them are going to be super wealthy, which is, of course, the ones I can help the most. The more wealth they have, the more wealth I can give them. Yeah. And knowing this, I'm like, okay, well, then it technically doesn't matter. And it's actually okay for me to take the learning without any financial stress of having to close the clients to pay my bills, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the moment where you have the highest closing rate, it's also where you're the most natural. You're just yourself. And people don't buy like coaching. They buy you as a coach.
For sure.
They buy into your world of thinking. They want to know how you do it, your philosophy. And that's what we're building. It's not a funnel where we want to burn the leads. And if we're not getting a sales, we're just going to reject them and do all this, like just burning them. But what we want to build is like a community. We have people reaching out to you, say, Alex, I did this and it worked.
Yeah, and I had one specific sales calls with, you made me think of saying this, where he was like, well, Alex, I watched like 98% of all of your videos in the last eight months. And I was like, okay, I just met you, but that's cool. You probably know me very well by now. And he did end up buying, and he's now a part of our course, which is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it gives a feeling that, okay, they know me, so they feel extremely safe, and they basically know my favorite color, the name of my daughter, where I ate lunch yesterday, because we do so much stuff, right? So they feel they probably know me better than a lot of other people in their lives, and this is, I think, also a very powerful foundation for actually doing a purchase and sending the payment.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes more than 13 hours every 13th month to convert a lead into a sale, which in other words means that you need to see a lot of content, spend a lot of hours with you, Alex, to actually become a client. But now we have YouTube, you also have podcast. You love talking to people and give them advice. And I think that's also a major part of who you are as a person, but also your success. You just you're here for the people,
Right.
not for the profits. It's literally people over profits. I think you don't get to see that very often when it comes to coaches and this info product space. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about Alex Finance, what you have built.
Right. And I think it's also really a powerful message to send to the people who are listening right now, because actually I would say money, it's almost like it doesn't matter, because everything that's really valuable, our mind, our dreams, our friends, our family, our healthy body, we got it for free.
Yeah.
So it's really just about becoming a better person and not caring too much about money, just making smart financial decisions, but knowing that there are hundreds of things that's more important than money in life.
Absolutely. And funny enough, when you focus on the most important things, your own personal development, becoming that person and taking care of your body and mind, you also scale the business. You made more money than ever.
Yeah.
So money is just a result of becoming that person.
Right.
And building the systems, doing the right stuff, and taking the right decisions over and over again for a long period of time, which is what we do.
Yeah.
Which is now we're also looking to scale even more, but not just scale in revenue. I think also very important to focus on the profits, because we don't have a big team. We don't have 10 people managing your business.
Yeah. And I love that, actually.
Yeah.
Because I used to have an idea that you should have a lot of employees and tell the world how big a business you have and all that, but it doesn't matter. We've been having a team of 3 to 4 people all the way through, and a small dream team, and it has been amazing. Like a lot of freedom and also huge profit margins, because it's cheap, like it's good and it's efficient. So I think that has also helped me to learn things the right way from the beginning, rather than chasing 10 employees on a contract. Actually, to have the freedom and to know that more people and bigger teams, it's not always the best.
Exactly.
Less can be more often.
Less is more.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of businesses and also people like me who want to scale other businesses, like agencies, consultants. They are so focused on getting sales, and they're building systems where everything leads to a funnel. Maybe it's a video sales letter, a VSL funnel, or a lead magnet. But what really made the biggest difference in your case is that we focused not on building a funnel, but we want to build like a legacy. So we also grew a lot in followers. How did we do that?
Well, what I liked about our progress is it's very smooth, and we basically used Instagram as the main tool for this. And I remember one of the very first meetings we had, you looked me into my eyes and you said, Alex, Instagram is now your official public shop window. We need to make it absolutely world class. And then we started and we optimized again and again. And then I think after some months, I think we ended up with something really beautiful that really stuck out, where I could see that people started to copy me and and also got messages, oh, it looks pretty cool profile. And that has been wonderful. So since then, we just used Instagram, and we made sure that we had a competent workforce to write with the people, to connect with everyone, and make a good and a normal, relation with all the followers, and writing normally with them about why they follow and what their dreams are, and investigating and discovering if I could potentially help them or not. And that has worked very, well, because people, they don't like to be sold to, but they actually like to have a normal conversation with a normal human being in a normal way, right?
Absolutely. And I remember what you said to me, and you also said, Mikkel, my followers, they're not leads. They're awesome people that I possibly can help. And this is truly about people. And that's also why you're here today.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
It is about people. I mean, many philosophers and smart people throughout the years and the centuries, they said this, right? The best way to live your own existence is to live the existence of others, right? And that's super true. And I think that has been the foundation of also keeping a 100% satisfaction rate through the work that we do together, but also the philosophy and the way of working with every single client in the best way, right?
Absolutely. I think that's also why we didn't want to do and create a funnel, but we wanted to build a legacy flywheel, which is all about building a legacy, not for you, but for the era of making good financial decisions, having more freedom, build more wealth. You're just a flagship showing people the way, but what you're really doing is just giving them the knowledge and everything they need to know about scaling and not scaling in revenue, but the wealth, and have more freedom, and basically be the person they truly wanted to be.
Right. And of course, using all social platforms in the most effective and most beneficial way, right? You were actually also the person who introduced me to YouTube, and you said, Alex, we have to start YouTube, and it should ideally be right now. Yeah. And I have loved that because I really adore to make YouTube videos. It's so much fun, and clients know me so well through the YouTube. Yeah. So often I have like guys who said like, I've seen 15 YouTube, and you said this and this and this and this, and I know everything now. I'm ready for more. I'm like, so glad to hear it.
Yeah,
here's the
that's really good. Yeah, you can say that. That's good.
Yeah, but sometimes it is like this. If they're ready, and then we don't have to make a hassle of it. And this is also the feeling you get. Like they know what I can do, and they know that if they pay me, it will come back to them manifold, right? So then the decision process can even be very easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what is the goal for us the next 12 months? We just renewed for another 12 months.
Right.
So, what's the goal?
Well, of course, we just keep doing what we do, keep developing, keep growing. And also we just changed our main client segment to help the more wealthy people instead of the more average, client group, which is very awesome. I think it's going to lead to great results with great people. And of course, on long term, I don't know if we're going to manage within these 12 months. It's my vision to create a bank, and I'm going to need some marketing help. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting.
Right.
I'm very excited to scale even more, but in a holistic way,
right.
Where we have high profit margins. You still have the freedom. In fact, you're going to get more freedom because of new systems. What we did to get to $50,000 a month, we need a little bit different to scale to $100,000 a month, which was the next goal for us. And we're already about to hit that goal. Not right now, but we will get there. So maybe in a year when we're here together, it's going to be exciting to tell your story, how we went from $50,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, sure. We're going to make a part two.
Absolutely.
Looking forward.
Before we finish this, which I absolutely have enjoyed, what's your best advice for people who either want to start an online business or want to scale it to the point where you are right now?
It's two things. Don't think, act. That's the first thing. And don't try yourself, get help.
Awesome. That's really good. I love it.
I hope that was clear.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, you too, bro. Thanks for your help.